Right, I'm here with... My voice is better today, actually.
It is better.
It's the best it's been for a long time.
It's much stronger.
Good. So I'm here with Harriet from Floatality. Just to remind you, and then how I came across Harriet and what Harriet is doing for me in the specialised world of yoga and strokes. So as you probably know, I was packing to go to Vienna and ended up in A&E, and it turns out I was so bad I was in hyperacute ward, and then 3 weeks to go through the various wards, 3 weeks of training to be good enough to go into the stroke gym, and that's when the real training started, as I had lost all instinct. One of the key instincts was balance and movement. It's something you take for granted, but I want you to think, not only if your instinct of balance or movement was poor, but if you'd forgotten what it was. And then how your life appears then is that you stand up and you fall down because you have no idea what balance is. And that was my first introduction to the amazing stroke physiotherapists at the NHS to get me on my way. And I remember thinking then, how do I get out of this mess? Because I had no idea how I was going to get out of the mess. So then I met you a few weeks after.
Yeah.
Talk me through strokes and yoga, and why yoga? Why yoga for strokes?
So yoga, as a practice, obviously a stroke victim wouldn't come in here and do a full sun salutation flow or a full class even, but yoga-based training techniques are key for stroke victims because they teach balance, they teach you to be calm, leave your ego at the door, be in tune with your body, and just be present as well. So accept what's going on and what you can do today and work with that. And obviously yoga is very key to helping build that strength and stability, help with the mobility issues as well. So just getting yourself around day-to-day movements, nothing crazy, nothing too bendy or flexy, and having the balance to do those simple things as well. So it's teaching you all of that in a nice environment, less clinical probably than your hospital ward.
Yeah.
And helping you get back and see the light at the end of the tunnel, to see that you can achieve this just through repetitive.
Okay. And I had problems in all those areas. So I had problems with calmness, because I was frustrated.
Yeah.
I had problems with ego, because I remember what I used to be able to do, and now I couldn't even do a fraction of it.
And that's completely understandable. That's completely understandable. Of course you're going to be frustrated and have certain anger, because why you? Why has it happened to you?
How unfair!
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And I've got so much to do for life.
Yeah.
So we've been at it for just over 30 days, I would say. I've had full sessions.
Yeah,
for you.
definitely.
And prior to that, there's other people in the team and the stroke physios from the NHS, etc. Just talk me through the progression in 30 days.
Okay,
and you don't have to laugh, titter, giggle or point.
So when Mark first came to me, he came through the front door, very kind of wide-legged, unstable, just walking, was a challenge, I would say. Is that fair?
John Wayne without his horse.
With your legs underneath your hips, they were wide stabiliser legs, and you stumbled in, and we sat down and we did a few movements using the chair for support as much as anything, but also to just gain proprioception back. So proprioception is the connection with the brain, the mind, and your body parts and your spatial awareness and where that hand's going, where that foot is. So when you step forwards, your brain has to know that your foot is underneath you to then know where to place that foot on the ground. And this is all things that yoga teaches you to reconnect with. So it's really good for stroke victims, but even for people that have sprained their ankle. Proprioception is key to recovery in any kind of injury or illness.
So I had about 14 weeks of different types of training before I saw you, and I remember that to start off with I had to hold onto the back of the chair to get onto my toesies.
Yeah, so it was lifting, finding your feet, understanding where your feet were and feeling your feet. So your brain had the connection of, right, I've got this space that's going to support me underneath me, and I can be confident that they're there, and this is how I use them. So it was retraining how you use your feet, making sure you're connected to the ground. And we would call that grounding ourselves or finding earth in yoga, if you want to go down that more yoga-based route.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, I was 1.
You were probably...
-2?
No, you were okay. You were able to walk through, but you definitely needed support, and the things that you've been doing today with me in the studio, you would not have even been able to dream.
In my dreams?
Yeah.
So 30 days, so it's about 4 sessions?
Yeah.
What was I doing today?
So today we were working through our warriors, our warrior 1s, our warrior 2s, working with the hip rotations, finding that pelvic girdle stability, also in the shoulders as well. If you can find that core shoulder hip stability, that will also help in movements. Finding that foot placement underneath you and transferring your weight from one foot to the other and then lifting up into balance, which you achieved.
And our little tippy tap toes around the clock.
Yeah, we've been doing crossover, step forward, step back, missing out the middle step so that you have to bring that leg all the way from the front, back behind you, transferring the weight into the opposite foot so that you've definitely made that purposeful movement.
And walking down a straight line and doing chair.
So the walking down the straight line, you progressed from probably week 3 we started that, didn't we, maybe? Yeah. So halfway through, we've started walking. I've got an extra long yoga mat, walking the full length of the mat, all the way from back to front, and then sitting or standing into chair pose at the end, which requires a little bit of balance transfer, stability, strength, all of that. And then walking backwards, which is very challenging if you haven't got that balance. So then today, from walking with those feet in a straight line and not really worrying too much, maybe a bit stumbly out to the side, we've now got to the point where you can now walk as if you were on a tightrope and then reset at the front and come into chair.
Nice. And no longer
falling off. Mark was walking out the door, leaving the studio, going for a walk around the park.
So balanced. So very good. So next 30 days, because this is all part of the road to the USA with training camps in Florida and Los Angeles and stuff. When I first came here, you were saying nicely as you could, are you travelling by yourself?
Yeah.
As in,
I was a little bit concerned.
Do you not have a helper?
Is no one going with you?
So, yeah, is
how do your family
going with you,
feel
little
about
boy?
That? So, I was concerned. But I know how determined you are, and this is the key thing here. You are a very determined, focused, and you've remained so positive, and I know it's been a hard journey, especially when you've had everything stripped off you, your ability and your independence taken away from you, and you were active before as well, so you enjoy your tennis, you enjoyed CrossFit, you enjoyed coming to yoga with me previously.
CrossFit as a consolation in terms, yeah.
But you've been so positive and kept yourself accountable as well. I'm sure you've had a team of people around you as well that have helped you do that. But you've made the effort to not just do the practice in the studio with me, but I've said, right, go home, practice balancing on a single leg while you brush your teeth, or when you're putting your clothes on, take a bit longer on that single leg as you lift the other one off to pull your trousers on, or whatever it is. And practice those tappy toes and whatever. Just a few times a day, nothing crazy, just 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. So in the next 30 days, if you can maintain that positive can-do attitude, I would love you to be able to, and this is the challenge, and this will be a real challenge, I know it will be, but I would love you to be able to do a full sun salutation flow. And we'll see. I reckon I'm confident you can do this.
I'd even like to pronounce sun salutation flow. So just to finish off, because all the training is focused on not just being on court, but probably the biggest thing, which is the international travel, is the car to the airport, the bag out the car, the dragging it through to customs, the weight,
and having the strength and stability to move that bag around. Yeah, which was my main concern when you said you were travelling on your own.
Very light bag, toothbrush, and a mile walk to the aircraft, and then you're on the aircraft, and I'm going to hopefully turn left and go into club and lie down, but if not, it's a turn right, and an 8-hour flight, and so we've got exercises to do on the flight. So, and then when we get to the other end, we get spat out into a strange place, crowds, distractions,
Yeah.
wobbles,
You'll
find
be feeling
everything.
flustered, and probably there'll be times.
So the 30-day training so far and the 30-day training to come is all to make sure that the road to USA is highly successful.
Yeah.
Thank you
You've got
very much. You've done well, girl.
You have.
Thank you.
You've done the work. I've just guided you. So you've done really well.
So that's all it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.